There was a fire incident that took about 9 lives and 54 vehicles got burnt during a tanker explosion yesterday in Lagos. Have you ever seen a fire like that before?
Unfortunately, yes. But it's even more unfortunate that it's happening in our own city, where we should have had certain precautions to actually prevent it, even if there's a spill, from escalating to what it happened, with up to all the lives lost and assets.
What do you think really happened? You have different versions. You're an expert.
Yes, I believe I am. My little experience will tell me, first of all, the first layer of failure was in prevention. How does a tanker go on the road? Where is the Department of Transportation? Who qualified such a tanker that would roll over and the tank that is fabricated on the tank would actually crack and have the spill on the road? One, it says that it shouldn't have happened if standards are maintained in our transportation system by qualifying the right trucks, the right tankers to carry the kind of chemical that was being carried yesterday. Now the next thing is, there is a spill. What about containment? There is a spill. When does emergency response comes in to say people should not drive over, evacuate? There should have been some controlled response, such that even if there's a 1 car, 2 cars, but it shouldn't be 54 cars. So when you now see this incident with this spill, and even cars are accumulating and getting burned, it calls to question the state of readiness of our emergency response. Yes, we've done some steps, but what it simply says is we're even further away than we think, and we need to do a lot more.
There's been a lot of, tankers in the Lagos roads, for example, or Nigerian roads. Should commuters be worried?
Extremely. They should be worried because our infrastructural development in planning on the federal and the state levels do not take into account emergency systems. Even if there was a fire and you have to fight it, where is the hydrant system? That road was newly constructed. If you're talking as going towards the mega city plan, you should be laying channels for water at the same time that you're constructing. Believe you me, the added cost of including safety in our growth and our master plan for infrastructural development is less than 10% of the cost. So this beautiful road is built without even a rescue area right next to it. When you go overseas, you will see rest areas. You will see hydrant lines running along. When they get to the water tank, they can just tap in there, but that is not there. Where are the channels for light? Even the electricity that would have been affected. The things are running over. How do we then say that we're progressing? That's when the UN comes in and says, bring it all down because it doesn't mean a standard. Why they built fancy roads, but not fancy roads for the people, and fancy roads with safety into consideration. So the government needs to take a proactive look in the financial plan of all the master projects to ensure that safety is imbibed in concept to prevent and designed out, not building good roads without any consideration for the safety of the people.
The tanker fire has exposed the lacks of attitudes to fire prevention, just like you have analyzed. In your experience, is the matter taken as seriously as it should be done?
It is not. Why am I saying it is not? It is not because you don't teach an old dog new tricks. We've gotten to this stage to talk about safety, but safety is imbibed. It's a culture that is lived through our society. So it starts from the elementary level, from our kids, from our homes, and then it can be carried forward. The average schools, and we've been doing a school campaign, how many extinguishers do they have? Where do your children go? The school bus that is driving them, who audits the school bus? What is the quality of the drivers? Do they even wear seatbelts in the bus? It would begin at a very early stage. So we have to accept that we have a period of digesting safety into our system, and that's making it a culture. It is only when people are culturally sensitive to safety and we have the habits that we start looking for more. So I would say no, because it starts with grassroots, as politicians call it, right? And then we now get into the engineering system and escalating it into our designs and prevention.
Finally, in the light of this tragedy, what would you like to see happen next?
I think a complete audit. I believe, and it goes all the way to DPR. Petroleum products are transported by certified tanks, and I think DPR has something to do with that. I think to go and load it, there's a qualification and they have a license, don't they? So first of all, who gave that permit and passed that truck for such a service? That's where it should begin. Because it's just unacceptable to have this, and we have so many of those on the road. That would always begin eliminating it from the point of issuing a license, which is still on paper. Now, the second thing is that we must now have a critical look at our development. We don't want to roll out budgets of billions that do not take into account safety. Supposing there was a rest area that you have to drive into, a lot of people that have driven into the rest are not gotten stuck in the traffic. When you take that road from Ibadan all the way, you see petrol stations on the road. There's no rest area where you can have an accumulation or diversion of people from an incident like that. When does insurance step in to say that we can't keep insuring road travelers when there is no way to stop the escalation of the incident? Even if you wanted to evacuate them, to where? There's not even a footpath in a lot of those places. So are they going to jump into the gully? Where are they going to run to? They are stuck where they are. That's why they lose their lives, and then those incidents happen. So I think once we start with the grassroots, we have to progressively look at so-called intellectuals, looking at master plan development for the nation, and call into question when we're doing these financial budgets for allocation on master projects. Are we building fancy cities that are unsafe? Because we'll still go back to it.
Thank you very much, Madam Berry. It's really been insightful.
Thank you very much.